Today, it's all about sunscreens. These sunscreens, they're very special in terms of they're supposed to wear great under makeup. That's what I really wanted to test today, or in this video. The best sunscreen with really highly rated reviews that are really beautiful and wear beautiful under makeup. Let's begin with these two right here today. This right here is by CeraVe. This is their ultra light moisturizing lotion, SPF of 30. This one's more for normal to oily skin, but it has 3 essential ceramides and hyaluronic acid. It moisturizes and helps restore the protective skin barrier. And this sunscreen, this right here, retails for $18.99. And then this is the other one that we're gonna test, the La Roche-Posay. This is their tinted mineral SPF of 50 for your face. And this has titanium dioxide and it's with their Cell OX shield. And this retails for $30.99. So a pretty big price difference, but let's test them out, see what the texture is, the consistency, how it applies. Let's go for it. Let's try them out. So starting with the CeraVe will be on the right side and then the La Roche-Posay will be on the left. Not tinted versus tinted. We'll see what it looks like, you know? So this right here, like I said, is $18.99. It's oil-free, it's a daily moisturizer that helps hydrate while leaving your skin soft with a matte finish, which is really intriguing. So I'm just gonna do one pump first, and it's white. It's not super thick. It kind of has a very light moisturizer feel. Like you can see it right there. It's not like a really intense moisturizer, but I'm making sure I'm putting a good amount on. I used to be a person that hated wearing sunscreen because I feel like, I want to say like 10 years ago, I feel like all sunscreens were all so typical, all very thick, really white cast, a very hard time to blend them in. And I find that right now, there's so many brands that are coming out with so many phenomenal sunscreens that you can wear under makeup and it doesn't just disrupt your amazing skincare underneath, your makeup. But I do find that you have to kind of spend a little bit of time really blending the sunscreen in, no matter what the brand. But I think that's the biggest thing for me. The takeaway is I really have to spend time and really make sure that sunscreen is melted into your skin and sitting on either the surface of your skin or really has time. As you can see, it had a really white cast, but now that I'm kind of blending it in, it's warming up. It looks really nice and it feels really nice on the skin as well. It doesn't feel as super heavy, but it does have that very slight SPF fragrance. But that actually blended in really nice. I had no issues. I'm gonna take a tiny bit more, and I do like the packaging. It's a very simple pump, which I think is so great. Take some on my neck, bring it around my ears. I'm finding this sunscreen to blend really well into the skin and on top of my skincare, and I'm not feeling any kind of extra texture like pilling that's the SPF is creating, so that's really good. It's not really creating my skin super matte, so I think if you're scared of seeing the matte finish on this right here, you can see on my skin it's not providing the very intense matte finish. It's definitely more of a natural to more of a dewy finish, but it doesn't feel sticky. It feels like it's already kind of just really sinking into the skin. So that's really good. I'm really happy about that so far with the first impression. All right, so this next one, like I said, this right here retails for $30.99. So definitely a little bit more, but the biggest difference between the two is this is tinted and that one isn't, and this one has an SPF of 50 versus this is an SPF of 30. I'm so sorry, I misread the price. This is $36.99 versus $18.99. I'm so sorry about that. So this right here, it is 100% a mineral sunscreen with titanium dioxide with SPF of 50. It's supposed to provide a light, healthy glow to the face with a light tint. It's weightless, it's oil-free, it's a fast absorbing mineral sunscreen that leaves, also with this matte finish, but you're still supposed to have a healthy glow. Interesting. Like I said, it's oil-free, it's water resistant for up to 40 minutes. So now that I've shaken this up, I'm just gonna take some, and it's super liquidy. I mean, very liquidy, and it does have a tint to it, so you can see it right there. And hopefully, the more we blend this in, the more it's gonna look more like my skin tone. And it looks like a lot, but like I said, you really kind of just have to sit here and really help blend this into your skin. But so far that color, it looks very scary and looks a little orange and green on my skin. On this one, I'm gonna make sure to really bring on my ears, just like I did on this side, but this one you can actually really see where you're spreading it. So I feel like it's a good thing with tinted sunscreens because you can really see where you're spreading it and how well you've spread it. It looks like it's blending in okay into my skin. I feel like this one has a little bit more of that SPF feel. It's a little more serum-y. It's a little more liquidy. This one I'm getting a little bit more of a matte finish, but still a glow happening on my skin. And of course, I definitely look a little weird because I'm only doing half of the face. So I'm touching both of the sides of my face right now, and the SPF has blended in really nicely on both sides. And the tint on this side, it's not really intense. I feel like it didn't really take away that much redness. It didn't really do too much in terms of color correcting or adding that much coverage to the face. It just provided a little bit more of a warmth to the skin. At first it was a little intimidating, but once you really sit here and you blend and you really warm it into your skin, it did a really good job. For my makeup, I'm gonna do the Fenty Beauty, the Blur Skin Tint. If you want coverage, but you still wanna look nice and lightweight, it's good for like makeup days like today where you don't want too much makeup on your face, but you want something. This is really nice. And plus it wears really beautifully on top of a lot of SPFs that I have tried. And then there are some SPFs that just did not do good under this product. I'm gonna wear this product today and tomorrow because I wanna have similar makeup on both days. I'm basically wearing makeup that I know already wears beautifully with SPF. All right, so far I'm looking and I'm not seeing any pilling on either side. If anything I can complain about is the color of this tint. I feel like it's kind of adjusting the color a little bit. You can kind of see right here around my smile lines, but that's the one thing with tinted SPFs. Don't do half of your face, do the entire face. All right, so I'm gonna finish the rest of my makeup because the biggest thing that I see is like the base makeup that really makes a difference with the SPF. I'm gonna finish off my eyebrows, my eyes, my blush, my highlight, contour, all of that. And then I'll come back at the very end and then we'll also test this throughout the day, see if one side is drier, see if one side goes really, really oily and it makes my face look oily. And I really wanna see if I have any kind of reactions to either side throughout the day. All right, so for the face makeup, like I said, I use the Fenty Beauty Skin Tint. Then I use the Lancome All Over Concealer, which is phenomenal. You guys need to try this if you haven't already. Next, for my eyebrows, I use the Benefit, the Precise My Brow in 3.5. Then I used the Clear Brow Gel by Benefit, the 24-hour one. For my blush, I mixed two shades by Anastasia Beverly Hills. In her cream stick blushes, I did shade Latte and Pink Dahlia. And then for my contour, I did e.l.f. Putty Bronzer in shade Tan Lines. And then on top, I used my powder bronzer by Guerlain in shade Light Cool. And then what else did I do? Mascara, Maybelline Sky High. And then last but not least, lipstick, I did the Dior 625 Mitza in the matte formula. Kept it very nice and simple, but I really wanted to focus on the complexion because we're really testing out the sunscreen. I think everything looks really, really nice. Still no pilling, everything looks really beautiful. The skin still looks really nice and natural. It doesn't look super matte. Both sides actually look very even in terms of coverage, color, and then finish. Not one side is looking more oily, more matte, more radiant, more dewy. It looks very, very even and I really like the way it looks. And they both feel very nice. I feel like I don't need to apply any kind of powder on top. Of course you can if you find that your makeup does slip and slide throughout the day, but I really like the finish of the skin right now with everything. So I'll see you guys in a little bit and we'll see how the makeup is wearing, how my smile lines are looking, how the cheeks are looking, how the forehead is looking, if we're looking extra oily or extra dewy or extra dry. I'll see you in a little bit. All right, first update, how are we looking? I told Andre I really like how my skin looks today. It looks very fresh, it looks very natural, but it looks very healthy on both sides. I will say around the 5-hour mark, kind of my eyes are burning a little bit and they still are a little more sensitive on this side versus the La Roche-Posay, but the face is looking very even on both sides. Like I said, I'm not looking extra dry, extra oily. they're performing very, very, very similar. It's the end of the night, and I'm gonna try to keep this a quick update because we're only looking at mostly the base. The sensitivity is still there on this side, but I feel like it kind of has chilled out a little bit. But I can still smell the SPF a tad in my eyes, like I'm looking at the light right now, and my eyes are a little more sensitive on this side. Like I look a little oily right here, but then when you look up close, you can see the SPF kind of breaking apart the makeup, and it looks a little bit dry. All right, I'm gonna leave it here. I think they wore really well together. Obviously, on an everyday basis, I only wear one SPF, but I'm really happy with the way they both wore. They're both a little different. Actually, they're both different, but similar enough. And I think they wore beautifully throughout the day, and very similar throughout the day. All right, I'm gonna leave it here, and then I'll see you guys tomorrow with the other 2 SPFs. Day 2 of testing the best sunscreens under makeup. So let's start with the first sunscreen of the day. So this one is by Supergoop. I'm sure you guys probably thought I was gonna mention one of the Supergoop sunscreens. This right here is their Unseen sunscreen with SPF of 40. And this right here is another chemical sunscreen. This right here, it retails for $34. And what's so special about this, it's a totally invisible, weightless, scentless, and makeup gripping daily primer with SPF of 40. It has a natural finish, but a lot of people are saying it has more of a matte velvet finish. It's oil-free, which is great, and it has won Allure's 2019 Best of Beauty Awards. That's really great, and they do have so many other options for the Supergoop sunscreen. This next one right here is by EltaMD, and this is their UV Physical Broad Spectrum SPF of 41, and this is lightly tinted. This retails for $34 as well. It provides sun protection and lightly tints your complexion to enhance the skin's radiance. It's lightweight, it's fragrance-free, and this mineral sunscreen won't clog pores and is gentle on sensitive skin. So they're saying right here, it's also really good for extra sensitive and post-procedure skin. So it's really nice and gentle. It's not going to harm your skin in any way. And also, you can apply it under your makeup. Let's go for it. So let's start first with the Supergoop Unseen. We'll do on the right side, same as yesterday, we'll do chemical versus physical. And same thing, clear versus tinted. So this one right here, it has a very thick texture. It's not super liquidy, like you guys saw. It's clear. It definitely kind of has that texture of a really nice thick face primer, like a pore filling type of a primer. It feels pretty good. And it does have a slight smell of SPF. I'm really hoping it's not gonna make my eyes sensitive like CeraVe's yesterday's. And I'm really taking my time to blend this in because I want to make sure it's not going to pill under my skincare. And the fingers do have a little bit of that like greasy feeling, like that like the silicone dimethicone, a little bit of a greasy feeling. Even though this is oil free, it still has that type of you know, that little film on your fingers. Let's move on to the EltaMD. This one right here is tinted, and this has more of a whipped texture. It's thick but whipped, but also when you start blending it in, it blends in really smooth and even, if that makes sense. Like it's not hard to move around on the face. And it's a lot thicker than La Roche-Posay. That actually blended in really nice. I feel like it blended in a little better than the La Roche-Posay. Maybe because the tint, it's not as intense. It's definitely a lighter tint, but the way it blends into your skin, it kind of just becomes one with your skin. And this also has a little bit of that SPF scent, but both of these are very light and you don't really smell them. Yeah, the EltaMD definitely has a little bit more of that dewy property on the skin, but I think they both look pretty even. I definitely see a lot more color correction with the EltaMD, especially around the cheeks. So you can see a difference right here. The cheeks are a little bit more pronounced with the Supergoop because there is literally no pigment, there's no tint in the SPF. So a little bit of tint versus no tint. All right, let's apply very similar makeup as I did yesterday. A little bit of Fenty, the skin tint, the Anastasia stick blushes, the e.l.f. cream contour. I think if anything, I might change my lip and then maybe a different mascara, but otherwise pretty much all similar makeup. All right, so I'm blending in the skin tint and I'm just doing the same way I did yesterday. Usually I just kind of tap it into my skin And then if I really need to kind of just go over like little tapping, swirling motions at the same time. I did notice a tiny bit of pilling on the Supergoop side. Either I applied too much or a way too thick of a layer, but the rest of the face looks pretty even. I still have that slight glow from within happening. I'm not looking super matte. I'm not looking super dewy. I will say that the EltaMD definitely has more of that luminosity, that glow, a little more glow than the Supergoop. But like I said, Supergoop does have many other options. If you want something even more matte, if you want something even more glowy, I think they also even have like a CC cream now. All right, I'm just gonna finish the rest of my makeup and then we'll be back. Makeup is on. The only different things I used was mascara, the Dior, they're iconic. And then for lips, I used, where is it? Charlotte Tilbury in Pillow Talk, but number 3 in 10. So it's like a really nice dark, really beautiful darker shade. It's stunning and it blends in so nicely. And then for the lipstick, I used the new Bite Beauty, their Power Move Soft Matte Lipstick in Sugar Buns. So now that the makeup is on, I was really looking closely at my skin, and I wanna say something on this side right here with the Supergoop. It's looking a little heavy and a little dry right here on the pores, versus this side with the EltaMD, it has a really nice, like soft, diffused look, but it looks a little heavy on this side. I'm not sure why, but otherwise everything else looks really good and there was no extra pilling, so that is the best part. I'll see you guys in a little bit and we'll see how the face is wearing. Am I looking extra oily? Am I looking extra dry? Or it just looks great altogether? I'll see you in a little bit. This is how we're looking like 5 hours in, but I am feeling a little sensitive on the right side again. Not my face, but my eyes. With both of these SPFs, they're feeling a little more slippy and slidey, but I feel like my face looks really good right now. It looks very even. I feel like it definitely has a little bit more glow than yesterday, but the way I'm touching it, this side is a little bit more tacky, and I actually feel like I can swipe a lot of that product off my face, versus this side, it's a little bit more powdery, even though you can still kind of take it off. But the forehead, it's looking still a little dry, but it's a little oily at the same time. I feel like it's wearing good, it's feeling good, but I think yesterday wore a little bit better. But I like that I'm looking really even still. Okay, so let's chit chat. Oh, my face definitely has seen better days. The SPF has broken apart my makeup really, really, really bad. It looks like I was out jogging for like 5-10 miles and then I was sweating all over the place, which I wasn't. I mean, I think the worst part is like right here in the T-zone, basically where I make the most movements. So the problem with today's SPFs, especially the Supergoop one, I feel like that one was very slippy and slidey, and it never really even sank into my skin, even though it was supposed to, because it's a chemical sunscreen. It's supposed to kind of like sink into your skin. Even though it's oil-free, it still has that really thick primer feeling that I don't like, and I feel like it really like clogs the pores for my face personally. But I just feel like the makeup is just not sitting great on it, and it's also not sitting great on the EltaMD side as well. Like I'm looking, and the way it's breaking apart around my mouth, it looks so bad. Yeah, I'm just not liking these two SPFs for my face personally. I really enjoyed the previous SPF. I liked the CeraVe a lot more, but definitely the Roche Posay. I feel like that one wore the best on me. It's just I don't like this skin tint on me personally. I'm just gonna go for the Roche Posay in clear, just untinted. I think that one is a really good compromise for me personally. I do have one that I really, really, really enjoy. It is tinted, but it's a very light tint. It's the Paula's Choice. This is the super light daily wrinkle defense. It has SPF of 30. It has a very light texture. It doesn't have a super SPF scent. It has never broken me out. That's what it looks like. Let me just really swatch this on the back of the hand. And it has a very, very light mattifying property to it, but it never makes me look really matte. It never makes me look super oily at the end of the day. And the way this blends in, it's a very lightweight, but I do find that if you use too much of this product, it can pill on you. I know I didn't test this one out for you guys, but I wanted to test SPFs that already had crazy good reviews, that had different like chemical versus physical, and see which ones were better. There's a lot of great sunscreens nowadays, and there's a lot to choose from. Definitely a lot to play with, but this is, I've been playing with so many sunscreens this year, but I find that I just keep coming back to this one. This one has been in my rotation pretty much on a daily basis since spring if I'm not testing a sunscreen. So this one right here always comes with me, and it's a really phenomenal sunscreen. But for now, you guys, thank you for watching, spending time with me, and this is the next one very soon. Bye.